Okay, admit it right now. Just like me, the first time you ever heard of Spotlight was during the Best Picture read-off, wasn't it? I mean, I didn't know what it was. The first time I heard Morgan Freeman read off the note, he was like, and the Oscar goes to Spotlight. And I was thinking, huh? What's Spotlight? Because I was thinking movies like either Mad Max Fury Road or The Revenant to win Best Picture that year. But then again, it was a very, very diverse year considering there was, no black people nominated because obviously being a color means you should get an award no matter what. I don't know, I don't make up the rules, even though Chris Rock was hosting the Oscars that year. And not to mention, there was a Mexican who was nominated for Best Director that year, and he won. It was for The Revenant. And that's a review for another time. He's also the same director of Birdman, my last video. Anyway, enough of that jazz, enough of that history. Let's get on to Spotlight. So Spotlight stars Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams, and Stanley Tucci, Liv Schreiber, and everybody's favorite Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. And it involves a story of a bunch of reporters who are writing for a newspaper, and they come across a story where apparently there are pedophiles in churches. They get jobs as priests just so they can get close to little children, which is creepy enough as it is. I'm really glad they didn't show any of that because there are certain things that people should not see and also should not experience as well. And a part of me was thinking, okay, I'm really glad I'm actually seeing this because this is definitely something that should not hide. And that was actually the main plot of this movie, is that they cannot ignore this. This needs to get out there. People need to know that this is happening. So while writing this paper and all such, apparently everything is put on hold because a certain event happened at that same time. What was that event? I don't know. I think it involves two planes crashing into two towers in New York City. Yeah, 9/11 happens. And eventually all newspapers are like, cancel all stories. We gotta write about this because it just happened, and as I remember, that was the only thing people were writing about for several months. I mean, I've actually been to the this is a little history. This has nothing to do with the movie, but this is for me. I've actually been to the museum where they had a piece from 9/11 and everything. It was this big antenna that was from the North Tower, and it was just a wall of newspapers behind it, so it was really cool to see. So in other words, that was actually the big deal at the time. But a lot of them on this team did not want to ignore the fact that there are pedophiles in churches, and they needed to bring the story out. Which, that alone is the most interesting part of the entire movie. The rest of it, it's really slow. I'm sorry, but it was really slow for me. I mean, the first time I ever heard it win Best Picture, I just sat there going, what? And then I got the movie because I collect Best Picture winners, in case you haven't noticed from my channel, and I watched it, and by the end of this movie I was thinking, what? That won Best Picture? So yeah, those are really my thoughts of it. I've only watched it once, and it's actually incredible that I do remember everything that I am speaking to you right now. I mean, it's a good story. It was definitely something that is worth telling, but I don't think I would really watch it again. I mean, granted, I do have the movie. You saw me reading off of it. There you go, so I don't cheat. It was kind of slow, and admittedly, some of the acting was really good. First of all, Mark Ruffalo is definitely a talented actor, and I'm really glad that he is playing the new Incredible Hulk. And he's by far my favorite Incredible Hulk, even though half of those actors, including him, have gone crazy over the years, because why not? All in all, Spotlight was kind of a downer, and it was really slow, and it took forever to get to where it needed to go, and just a lot of scenes in it just didn't feel like it needed to be in there. I'm not going to spoil it any of that for you, because I think I've spoiled too much from my previous videos. I'm going to say this movie it was definitely a story worth telling, but I don't think anyone's going to be upset if you skip it. Now, I'm sorry if anyone had to go through that, and okay, I'm just gonna say this now before I skimmer all over the place. Anyone who has been through a situation like that, I am very sorry that happened to you, and I'm hoping that the people that did that to you get caught, they go to jail, and stay behind bars where they belong. And I don't know any hotlines to call if that ever did happen to you, but just so you know that that I personally think that those people need to be gotten rid of, and hopefully that things will get better for you. Well, I'm rambling. So anyway, guys, Spotlight, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.